Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to this week's Astro Weather Report. I want to empower you through the tool of astrology this week. We are looking at the week ahead and celebrating in our sparkly clothes, celebrating 2022, and we're looking at the first week from the 1st of January to the 7th of January, first week of 2022. As I always start by saying, you do need to keep in mind that this is a reading for you personally. It's not a mundane astrology reading where we're looking at world events or anything, not the big collective experience we're all living through right now. What I'm speaking about today is going to be more about what will affect you and how you will feel, what you might encounter in the week ahead. Very personal. Now, as these days are still dark and difficult, I think back to the 24th of December when we had the final Uranus-Saturn square, and in Australia 80 planes were grounded and everybody wanting to get home to see family for Christmas was not able to. That wasn't, very much an exhibition of the Saturn-Uranus square in play. Saturn is blockages and restrictions and rules. And Uranus is air travel, freedom. So that was a perfect example of how that square played out in Australia. And as you can see from that, the days are still dark. There is still trouble afoot. So because of this, I want to support you through these difficult times, and therefore my readings will be on sale for a little bit longer. It might be a good investment for you to get a year ahead reading and see what is coming up for you personally in 2022 and what energies are at play and how they'll be affecting you. So head over to the website, make your booking. I look forward to doing a reading for you. Now, the best days this week, remember I'm in Australia, and so I'm using Australian times. If you are in other parts of the world, it could be slightly different, particularly if you're on the west coast of the US. You're going to be roughly a day behind the dates that I'm giving you here. We need to be conscious of the void of course moon and avoid instigating anything under its energy. Taking action when the moon is void of course will usually result in nothing happening, which can be good if you don't want any dire consequences or any upheavals or anything to come from what you're doing. Say you want to go head to head with somebody about some issue and you don't want it to have repercussions. Well, do it under the void of course moon and there's less likelihood of there being trouble. But if you are wanting to instigate something for the purposes of achievement and progress and expansion, then try to avoid instigating anything under the void of course moon. And you can find out when the moon is void of course by simply going to an app like iLuna. So keep that in mind, and we're looking now at the best days this week. The 1st of January is a great day to strategize, to plan, to take concrete action towards the goals that you want to achieve. Perfect way to start the year because you can take concrete action, you can strategize, you can set your New Year's intentions under that blessed energy. Now, ordinarily, from an astrological perspective, the energy is best for setting New Year's intentions at solstice, and I mentioned this a couple of videos ago. That's the best time for creating your New Year's resolutions. The energy is much more supportive. But because we've got this good day on the 1st of January to take action and to strategize and to plan, you can still have a good effect from undertaking those things on this day. Then on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and also on the 7th and 8th in January, they're going to be good days to reinvent yourself. If you need to turn over a new leaf, make a fresh start, take action to dissolve some unwanted habits or life circumstances that you want to let go of and release, these are your days when the universe's energy will be supporting you to do so. On the 5th and 6th of January, also good days. So you can see the whole first week of the year is very supportive of us personally. The 5th and 6th of January are really great days to take action on something by starting something new, initiating something, like a new interaction, a new friendship, a new project, or a new opportunity. So that's a good time to schedule those sorts of events. It's a time when we can tap into our courage and our inner warrior a lot more. We can take a risk, we can step out of our comfort zone, and we can make new things happen because of that impulsive energy, yes, but warrior energy. Now also the moon is going to be out of bounds for a period this week, and that's going to be from the 1st to the 5th of January. That could really bring many unexpected and significant events into our lives as a collective or personally. The moon, when it's out of bounds, can give extreme results. It's like having the moon in a conjunction with Uranus. If you've got that in the natal chart, then you can have sort of extremes in things or unexpected things, sudden rises to fame, sudden recognition, sudden success. That can happen with an out of bounds moon, but equally you could have a sudden upheaval, a sudden crisis, a sudden dilemma, and it's just that things happen shockingly and suddenly and in an extreme manner when the moon goes out of bounds. It's very interesting. There's been some studies done on an out of bounds moon in the charts of many serial killers. So I'm not saying we're all about to go out and be serial killers, because it can go to either extreme. It's very polaric. You could be an extremely successful, the next Beyonce or something like that, extremely successful diva. Or you could be the other extreme, extremely successful or famous, if you like, because the moon rules fame, extremely famous serial killer. So, there's many places in between those two polarities, let's say, that things could fall. But that's just an example, and it's very fascinating. If only I had the time to research and do those sorts of in-depth studies, that I would just be so delighted. That would be my dream come true. Anyhow, that's an interesting bit of information, and the moon will be out of bounds, causing extreme events from the 1st to the 5th of January. Hopefully extreme events in the positive. So this week's energies that are playing out, and if you want to know the specific details for these energies, as I'm going to speak through them now, I would encourage everybody to head over to my Instagram and my Facebook page. The links are in the description below, to get daily updates on what energies are unfolding. I write a little piece on each energy, and it's released to Insta and Facebook on the day of the occurrence of the particular energy. So, for example, this week on the 1st of January, we're having a Uranus trine to the Sun. Now, I'm not going to go into what that's going to mean for us all here, but if you follow along with my social media pages, you'll get that information. On the 2nd of January, we've got Mercury moving. Now I'll draw these on the board, so sorry. So we've got, as I said, the Sun making a trine to Uranus here from Capricorn to Taurus. And then we're going to have on the 2nd, we're going to have Mercury moving into Aquarius. And Mercury's getting ready to do his retrograde in Aquarius. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. So he's moving into Aquarius, which is where he's going to be retrograding. On the 3rd of January, we also have a new moon. This is occurring here at 12 degrees of the sign of Capricorn. And it's interesting to note that this is almost the degree where Venus entered her shadow period. She entered her shadow period at 11 degrees of Capricorn. So this is quite an interesting new moon with that in mind. While Venus is retrograde, there's a new moon in her retrograde zone, so to speak. So join me on my Patreon page, because I go into a great deal of description about what that might mean for people, and I give an all signs breakdown and forecast for the new moons and the full moons every month. So if you want to be part of that and if you want to join, you can do so for $5 or €5 rather a month, and be part of the forecasts that you'll get with the Patreon family. There's lots of other goodies there available for you too at Patreon. Also on the 3rd of January, which is going to tie into the effects of this new moon. And I'm very, very excited about this, very keen, because if you caught my Venus retrograde video a couple of weeks ago, I gave some dates that Venus was doing key significant things. And the 3rd of January is one of those dates. It's when Venus begins her combustion. She will be invisible in the sky. She goes into the glare of the sun, no longer giving her energy to the planet visually. So this has some significant ramifications in astrological terms, especially for young women. And I want to just encourage any young women, and I know there's a lot who watch my videos, do be careful for from the 3rd of January for the next few days, sort of up till about the 16th. Just be careful, about where you're going, who you're with, what you're doing. It's just a time when the energy of young women, which is represented by Venus, is a little bit troubled, let's say. Now, I'm not trying to scare people. I mean, the forewarned is forearmed, and that's the whole purpose of astrology, to work with the energies. And I'm also not an advocate of women having to behave sort of in a manner that subdues themselves, because we live in a dangerous society for women. That's not what I'm saying here at all. There is a time that occurs once every 2 years when Mars goes combust, and men need to be careful where they go and who they're with, and what environments they're involving themselves in. So it is not, I'm not trying to be sexist in any way here. I'm just pointing out the energy of Venus is for young women, the energy of Mars is young men. So with Venus combust, do be careful. We might find it harder to exhibit love or to gain finances or indulgences or luxuries when Venus is not visible. Equally, though, we can be much more introspective when Venus is combust, and maybe it's a time for thinking deeply about our love lives, or about our investments and finances and luxuries and so on, and indulgences. Venus combust can, in a retrograde motion, can cause us to really go deep and inward with those things, and maybe that's what needs to happen right now. So you can utilize this energy to that end, to evaluate where you're at. Because when Venus goes combust, and I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I do love this topic. When Venus goes combust, what she is doing is preparing, in this retrograde motion, she is preparing to turn into Venus morning star. And she's begun her, let's call it, descent into the underworld, where she's disappeared from the sky. She's going to meet with the sun and go cazimi with the sun, which is a very important day coming up next week, which we'll talk about in next week's video. She's going to go cazimi with the sun, and then she will continue to be combust for the next couple of days after that cazimi experience, and then she will emerge new birthed to be the morning star. It is a very, very powerful and important time astrologically, and I can't wait. So this is significant. We are beginning a new period of Venus. So go introspective, go deep, and watch and observe what is about to be born afresh and new in your life, with love, with relationships, with connection, with partnership, with finances, with luxuries, with indulgences, with forgiveness, and all the beautiful things that Venus represents in the sky. So that's just a little bit on retrograde Venus. If you want to know more about that, do check out the Venus retrograde video that I did a couple of weeks ago. I go into a tremendous amount of detail about retrogrades, cazimi, combustion, about Venus returns, and the dates that are significant for us this year with this Venus return. Check it out. But that's not the energy that I'm going to be talking about this week. The significant energy that we're going to explore for our Happy New Year video is what is occurring also on the 3rd of January when we find that the great benefic Jupiter squares the nodes of the moon. So here is Jupiter at 1 degree of Pisces. Yay! He is now in his own territory. Look out, world. And I spoke a little bit about this previously as well in last week's video. But here are the nodes at 1 degree of Gemini and Sagittarius. So we've got the South Node and the North Node. They are always in opposition to one another. Sorry about my awkward scribbling there. They're always in opposition to one another. And so when a planet makes a square aspect to one of the nodes, it's also making a square aspect to the other node, and therefore creating a T-square. This in evolutionary astrology is known as a skipped step, and it is a powerful time for dealing in a positive way with collective karma, if we're looking at the big picture, but also with personal karma. Now, some people might be born with a skip step. I actually have a Jupiter skip step in my chart. And people born in the year I was born may also, it's quite common to have Jupiter as a skipped step. You could have Saturn as a skip step. You might have Mercury as a skip step. If you have a planet squaring the nodes in your chart, it is a significant indicator of certain karma that needs to play out in your life this time around, this incarnation. It is a very powerful significator. But when it's happening by transit, as it will be this week, it's talking about collective influence of this particular karmic influence of Jupiter, and it might also bring up momentarily in your life karmic influences that relate to Jupiter as a skip step. Not something that, if you don't have a Jupiter skip step in your natal chart, it won't be something that you're dealing with on a permanent basis throughout the course of your life. But for these few days this week, sort of from the 2nd to the 4th, maybe a bit longer than that, might be all week, might be actually all week, you might be experiencing the effects momentarily of a Jupiter skipped step and addressing Jupiter skipped steps, get my words out, Jupiter skipped step issues just in passing. What is this all about? Well, as I said, it's a powerful time for dealing in a positive way with collective karma, especially where we may have experienced powerful authority figures who caused us trouble. It's been going on for a couple of years, hasn't it, where that's the case? But even in your personal life, maybe a boss or a father figure or, a policeman or a judge or some authority figure made life hard for you, caused trouble unjustly for you. It could also be, particularly if you have Jupiter as a skip step in your natal chart, it could also be that you have to deal with some authority figure that caused trouble for you in a past life. And that might have imprinted certain beliefs or attitudes or behaviors on your psyche that you have to deal with. So, has there been any powerful figures in your life? If you're watching this, have there been any powerful figures causing trouble? Are there any powerful figures causing issues in your life right now? Well, there might be an opportunity under this energy to lay that dynamic to rest and to, finish up with that irritating boss or that issue with the policeman or whatever the case may be, where you can lay that energy to rest and conclude it under this skip step. If you are dealing with attitudes and beliefs and behaviors that an incident with an authority figure imprinted on you, lack of self-worth, maybe a belief, a negative belief or cynicism because of some behavior of an authority figure, you might be called to address those attitudes and beliefs and behaviors now and purge them in a way under this skip step. And Jupiter is here this week to help you do so. We're also, with this skip step, we're asked to address where we have felt blocked in our ability to achieve the natural human desire that is present for our abundance, for exhibition of our charisma, for fame or for power. Jupiter is connected to prosperity, growth, expansion, abundance. He's very charismatic, gives a very charismatic personality in certain positions in the chart. He can also be connected to fame. The moon is one, but Jupiter is also another that can connect to fame and recognition. So human beings have this natural desire for prosperity, for abundance. We want to expand, we want to grow, not only in the material realm, but in the psychological and philosophical and soul realm as well, and Jupiter rules those things as well. So when we have this skipped step energy, we're being asked to address where have we felt blocked with our ability to expand, to have abundance, to have prosperity, to grow our soul, to be truly ourselves in the world. Have you felt blocked in that way in life? We might find that any jealousies of others regarding those things can come to the surface now. You mightn't even realize that you have envy for somebody who lives in Toorak in a big mansion, or on the North Shore of Sydney or somewhere. and we mightn't even realize that we're sort of in this state of jealousy and the green-eyed monster coming out regarding the successes of other people. But Jupiter skip step can bring it up for us to address and deal with. So do you feel like you've missed out in life at all? I would say there's probably a lot of us that do feel that way. Do you feel like other people are being blessed and you're not, and you're missing out on just ordinary blessing? Well, this energy of Jupiter skip step is going to ask you to recognize and to understand these resentments. You'll be, it could be tough. You might be forced to deal with these things. But I want to encourage everyone, if you are, and a lot of us will be, no judgment here. Just love yourself, love your journey, and honor this human desire to be noticed, to be taken seriously, and to succeed, to flourish, to blossom. That is a human desire. And by squashing it down and denying it and saying, oh, I'm jealous and oh, shame on me, that is not honoring this energy. Recognizing, what, I am jealous of that person and their success and life's been so easy for them and da-da-da. We need to honor our feelings. And I'm not saying, go out and steal that car off them because, hey, you've got it and I haven't. That's acting like a child in a sandpit with, somebody's got a toy that I want, kind of rubbish. But I'm saying address and honor and almost in a detached way recognize, what, I desire that too. I want to have that wisdom, that knowledge that somebody else has too. I want that prosperity. I want to have that meaning, that purpose, that career delight that person has in what they do every day. I want that too. And it's not about wanting to take it from the other person. It's about honoring that you have desires as well for those things. And that's quite all right. So you're going to get opportunity for the universe will provide opportunity for you to recognize those feelings within you, and your response under this Jupiter skip step energy is to simply honor it and own the desires that you have. Now, for some also, this energy might bring the opportunity to attain some sort of meaningful success. The success you long for could occur for some people under this Jupiter skip step energy. But if that is the case, it's going to require you going out on a limb or taking a risk to do so. People who are just going to sit at home for this coming week in front of Netflix and not, step out of their comfort zone are not going to attain the meaningful success they long for. But people who have been and are actively working towards their dreams, their goals, their aspirations, towards this prosperity and abundance that they long for, can see it arrive this week with the Jupiter skip step. So it's an exciting time. It's confronting as well, but it is an exciting time. As I mentioned, I do have a Jupiter skip step in my own chart. And when I was learning all about skip steps, I was astounded at how many layers of my psyche were peeled back when I understood about the jealousy component. I never thought I was a jealous person in my life until I really started researching deeply into the Jupiter skip step, and I was like, this is actually me. Now I'm sharing that with the world, and I'm human. To feel that way is human, and this is why I'm saying part of the journey with the Jupiter skip step is to own these things, to not pretend that we are little Miss Perfect or little Mr. Got it all together, and that we're doing life brilliantly. We're learning, we're growing, we're evolving, we're changing, and that's part of the beauty of the journey, really. So Jupiter is calling you to grow in many ways this week with the Jupiter skip step. As I said, some people might attain meaningful success that they're longing for this week. They're going to need to take a risk in order to do so. You might fall on your face if you take a risk, but imagine how wonderful it will be if you fly and have that vision in front of you. If this works, man, it's going to be good, and go for it. Okay, bit of housekeeping before we head into the all signs analysis of Jupiter as a skip step. Sorry, I've got hair in my mouth. The Royal Stars Academy is being released in 2022. It's the first level. Join my mailing list by going to my website. Don't miss out on any of the info as I begin to share it. Now, I am anticipating that I will launch level 1 of the Royal Stars Academy in February. And so I'm about to start releasing the information, the syllabus, the costing, the subjects that you'll study in the coming month in January. So join the Royal Stars Academy waitlist, or simply go and join my mailing list by popping over to the website, and you'll find out all the information on how to become a certified astrologer, professional practitioner with the Royal Stars Academy. This week also, I just want to give everybody a heads up. I'm so excited because there are a bunch of specials coming out from all the Guiding Star practitioners. Discounts on face reading, discounts on tarot, discounts on horary readings, planetary wash meditations, and of course my readings are on sale as well. There's also going to be videos coming out every day this week looking at these particular things. We're going to have horary astrology forecast for the year ahead. We're going to have a tarot forecast. We're looking at the planetary washes and a meditative experience for everybody to start off and kick off the new year. And we've got wonderful information about how to read people's faces and understand other people simply by looking at their face. So you don't want to miss any of these videos. They're going to be popping up in your YouTube subscription feed this week. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss a single one. Lots of goodies coming as my gift to you from Guiding Star Astrology. And all of us, I should say, here at Guiding Star Astrology, actually. So let's move into our all signs forecast. We are looking at Jupiter as a skip step, and therefore Pisces, you get to go first this week. And isn't it about time? So there we are. Jupiter is going to be revealing any blockages around success, prosperity, and abundance this week. Jupiter is potentially giving meaningful success to wherever Pisces falls in your chart now as well, but it might come with needing to go out on a limb. So for our Pisces friends, rising sun or moon signs, we are looking at this energy affecting our first house because, hallelujah, we have Jupiter moving through our first house for the first time in 12 years now. Thumbs up, really, really good. So this is a house of survival, and it's our main reason for incarnation. So for you Pisces people, this is very significant because it's also your ruling planet. It's going to influence you quite personally now. You, above all people this week, Pisces, are really going to be shown where you are having any mental and emotional or, psychological blockages to success or prosperity or abundance, where maybe, Pisces, you might be overgiving to other people and forgetting to honor the self, whether you might be martyring yourself for somebody else and forgetting to honor what you need and what you desire. So Jupiter will be revealing any blocks to your success and growth and abundance in that regard, Pisces. But it's also going to give you potentially, Pisces, some meaningful success in your life. You might find that you get the opportunity to flourish more, to survive more, to show up in the world more and be yourself, to embrace the things that you align with as part of what is meaningful to you, as part of what is successful to you. You might be given the opportunity to initiate something new. First house is the house of initiation that leads to success. Whatever that looks like to you, Pisces. Maybe meaningful success to you is writing a book, or maybe it's leading a retreat, workshop or something. Whatever your idea of meaningful success is, this is what you're going to, become aware of now and be able to take initiative action to making it happen. Jupiter has your back. So firstly, he's going to reveal where you are blocking and self-sabotaging. Secondly, he's going to reveal what is meaningful to you and how you can align with it and how you can initiate things that will make it happen. First house is also the impressions that we give to the world, and Jupiter is in this sort of energy play this week. In fact, for the whole next 6 months with Jupiter in your first house, you're going to be giving more of that aura of charisma and the aura of success and abundance and prosperity. So don't be surprised, Pisces, if more luck starts coming your way because of this. Now, every 12 years, Jupiter goes through Pisces, but he is not always creating this skip step angles. So there is going to be an amplification of the potential of Jupiter because of this. And whatever your destiny is, Pisces, because the North Node has to do with our destiny. Whatever your destiny is, Jupiter is amplifying the potential for you to reach that destiny and achieve that destiny and go for that destiny this week. So very powerful to be having this occurring in your first house. Your destiny, North Node, revealing past blockages and attitudes and beliefs that are going to be dissolved to head to your destiny, North Node, and coming from your initiation, the steps that you undertake, what you do to make things happen. Not what other people do to you, but your desires, your initiation, your aura, your physical action. First house. So it's an exciting time. Meaningful success can come your way, and very powerful energy now that is karmic in the best way. Good karma can be paid back you now, can fruit now, can blossom for you now, Pisces. But you've got to take that action. Even if that action means sending your manuscript to a publisher, it could really lead you to that success that you long for now. Even if that action is saying, you know what, I'm going to approach that retreat center and ask them, can I host a retreat there in astrology or whatever it happens to be? You know, taking that action, going out on a limb, initiating what you want is key this week. Jupiter has your back to bring you the success that you are destined for. Exciting. Okay. Aries rising, sun or moon. Well, Pisces and Jupiter as a skip step energy are falling this week in your 12th house. And so this is what we're looking at here is blockages to our success, growth and abundance, and the meaningful success that Jupiter can give relating to the 12th house. Now, the 12th house can be a bit difficult, Aries, to get a grasp on. It's where things feel a little bit out of control, but I want to point out that it is a protected energy nonetheless because Jupiter has natural connections to the 12th house because of its rulership of Pisces, let's call it the 12th sign, so to speak. So it can be a little bit out of control, but you are being very much guarded. I was going to say, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy on your side if you're into that Marvel movie, but no, the higher beings, the angelic forces, the angelic realms are actually pulling the strings with all of this. So maybe it's ancestors, maybe it's past life experiences that are in your psychic awareness that come forward now to help release blockages to success and growth and abundance in your life. So your ancestors, the angels, higher beings can be very influential in helping you understand, okay, I've got this block, you know? You mightn't be aware of this, you know, it might be some ancestor who's popped an idea into your head, you know, that kind of thing. But there is going to be this influence from the divine for revealing something about blockage and success in your life. This is a house of past lives also and karma. So for Aries people, this skip step actually does indicate that it's heavily past life related, heavily karmic. For other people, you know, who have not got this combination of placements, it may not be quite so past life connected. It might be, you know, regarding something from this lifetime. But for Aries people, I'd say that there's a significant amount of karma influencing what is unfolding, such as the blockages and the attitudes and the maybe even encounters with authority figures from past lives who did block you and hold you back from achieving the success you deserved in some way. So this is a moksha house, this is a liberation house, and that indicates letting go is going to happen. So in that sense, you're really lucky, Aries, because you're going to be able to let go of any blockages to success and growth and abundance. Fantastic. It's not going to be hard. They're going to be easily dissolved for you now. But meaningful success can come your way under this influence this week as well. But it's in the 12th house, so it could be a more private success that you achieve, something that the whole world does not know about, something secret to you, some very internalized feeling of success. It could be an emotional success. It could be a success, with something that you have to keep behind closed doors in some way. So yeah, I'm not anticipating seeing Aries people sort of shouting from the rooftops about something amazing that happens in their life, but some success can certainly come. This is also a house of alchemy, and it's when we practice acceptance, we get benefits, and that's kind of this alchemization of a problem. So what we're seeing here with Jupiter in a skip-step situation is that he's going to reveal blockages to you, Aries people, and you'll get the chance to detach, practice acceptance. Okay, this is how I feel about success and abundance and growth and stuff, and I'm going to detach, I'm going to practice acceptance, and you'll alchemize and dissolve out of your life those blockages to success. So that's what I'm seeing, generally speaking, with regard to Aries rising sun or moon people. Now, for Taurus rising sun or moon people, the energy of this Jupiter skip step is falling in your 11th house. Jupiter is in your 11th house, making aspect to the south and north node of the moon in Gemini, Sagittarius. So this is the house of being profitable and gainful, and how we can be profitable and gainful. And under this influence of Jupiter this week, the way you can make a path towards profit and gain is by addressing the issues you have with self-sabotage, with maybe, Pisces is here, maybe overgiving, or martyrdom, that are hindering your own, they're actually proving to be more of a blockage to your own success and growth and abundance than anything, where we're giving more to other people and we're forgetting to honor the self. So it's really, this whole skip step in Pisces is telling us, to be very wary for everybody about martyrdom and overgiving. They're Pisces shadow energies. But you can be profitable and gainful, or find awareness of how you can be more profitable and gainful, at least this week, by addressing the blockages that you have psychologically to success and growth and abundance. Now, this could also be an energy, Jupiter here, that can give meaningful success through friendships. You have a friend, you have a network, you're part of a club or a group or an organization, and being part of that network gives you some sort of success, leads you to some sort of success. It can also indicate that by going out on a limb and joining a group, joining a club, creating a new friendship, it's going to lead you to success as well. Jupiter can give meaningful success through 11th house things, and by going out on a limb with 11th house things this week. So don't be scared to step out of your comfort zone, create that new friendship. Or maybe it's a house of the stock market. Maybe you can go out on a limb and look at doing some investments through the stock market, or learning about the stock market, or Bitcoin, or one of those things. So networking, groups, organizations, political parties, clubs, as I said, the stock market, or Bitcoin and those sorts of things. These are methods of creating meaningful success, Taurus, in life this week under this skip step energy, but it may require you to go out on a limb and step out of your comfort zone in some way to do so. So that's what I'm seeing for Taurus rising, sun or moon people. For Gemini rising, sun or moon people, the energy of the Jupiter skip step occurring this week is falling in the, bit awkward there, in the 10th house of Pisces. So the 10th house is our example to others. It's the point in the chart of the highest inspiration, and therefore it is often associated with our path to success, how we need to behave, what we need to do to achieve success. And of course, as I've said in the intro, Jupiter here is going to reveal any blockages to success that you might have, blockages to growth and abundance. He's going to show you psychologically where you're holding yourself back, especially because he's in the sign of Pisces. And it may be, and I'm saying this for all signs, this component of the breakdown, it may be through your self-sacrifice or your martyrdom in some way in your career, Gemini, that you are holding yourself back. And Jupiter might reveal that to you this week, where you are giving to others and not receiving enough, or not giving enough to yourself in terms of the actions you're taking regarding career. So Jupiter's going to show that to you potentially this week. Jupiter in the 10th house also has the potential to give meaningful success in the house of Pisces by you going out on a limb. So it might be through being an example to others that you can attain some sort of meaningful success by being a leader and showing up and taking that place of leadership. But that might require you to step out of your comfort zone. Instead of sort of sitting at the back of the room when they're calling for somebody to sort of lead a certain group at work or do some sort of whatever it is that requires leadership, instead of holding back, maybe Jupiter is requiring you to step out of your comfort zone this week if you want to succeed. So this is leadership, this is public approval, this is visibility. And it may well be for many of you Gemini people that in some way this week you need to take on a role of leadership in order to gain respect and success in the world, to create a legacy that you're going to leave for those who come behind, and even to create a sense of success, not only career-wise, but in regard to your reputation and your visibility in the world as well. So this is what Jupiter is here to do, to give you the meaningful success, but it's going to require you to take some action. Step out of your comfort zone. Make things happen. That's what I'm seeing for Gemini rising, sun or moon this week. For Cancer rising, sun or moon people this week, Jupiter's skip step energy is actually falling for you in the 9th house, the luckiest house in the horoscope. So you guys are in for a really good season for the next 6 months, I have to say, Cancer, because you've got the great benefic Jupiter in the luckiest house in the horoscope in his own sign, Pisces. Great times ahead for Cancer people, and I'm sure you're all well and truly ready for it, Cancer. A house of communication with the gods. It's how we obtain knowledge and the light of understanding. So Jupiter is going to reveal blockages under this skip step influence this week that you have to your own growth and expansion of the soul, your own success, prosperity, and abundance. Where are you holding yourself back? And I'm saying this for everybody. In the sign of Pisces, a lot of the time, that blockage can be coming from our overgiving to others and our failure to honor the self because we're so busy giving to other people, martyring ourselves and self-sacrificing. Jupiter might reveal something in that realm to you which is holding you back from your own flourishing. Okay, so Jupiter's going to show these things where you're holding yourself back. But he's also potentially going to give you some meaningful success in the realm of the 9th house, provided you're willing to go out on a limb and take a risk. So this is maybe you've got to take a risk by exploring a new belief system. Maybe you've always followed, let's say, what the Bible says, and then you never have explored any other of the ancient scriptures or ancient belief systems from other cultures. Maybe if you're to really expand your heart and soul and mind and grow, this week you might need to consider, I need to step out of my comfort zone, go out on a limb by exploring some other belief systems and coming to an understanding of other belief systems. That could be a thing. It could also be through adventure as well. Adventure might hold the key to some sort of meaningful success or self-growth and expansion this week. And you might need to sort of step out of your comfort zone to have a bit of an adventure, to go somewhere you've never gone, to explore some culture you've never explored before, to read a book you've never read before, to go and eat at a certain restaurant that you've never eaten at before, maybe an exotic restaurant with different cuisine. These sorts of things could actually expand your heart and soul and mind this week in a powerful way, but you might be required to step out of your comfort zone to do so. This is also a house of good karma. Yes, and here is the planet of good karma in a sign to do with very strongly with past lives, really showing up and being present. So there could be some successful events that occur for Cancer people this week that are a gift because of the good karma that you're carrying from past lives. So, it could be anything. Who knows what you did in a past life that might now see you, getting a certain something you've always wanted, maybe a new friendship that is going to change your life, or an opportunity at work that is a gift from the divine, or that acceptance of that publishing. You get an offer of a publishing contract with somebody. That could be a karmic blessing as a reward for something in a past life. There's also the house of the second life partner, I have to point out as well, Cancer. So, for some people, there could be some good karma in your life regarding meeting or developing a relationship with a second life partner. Now, that's in the Western system of astrology. In the Vedic system, they see second life partner from a different house, so from the second house, actually. So just so you know, I'm using the Western system for that analysis there. There could be some good karma that gives your life meaningful success with a second relationship, a second committed life partnership for you. There could also be, I think, perhaps the potential, Cancer, for some international travel that might open up to give you your life more meaning, more success, more that state of abundance and prosperity and flourishing that you may want. So if you get the opportunity to travel, do consider it. Under this skip step energy, it's for the greater good of your destiny, your purpose, your growth here on Earth. I want to point out also that regarding the revealing of the blockages and restrictions to your expansion and growth and abundance, there's likely to be some eureka moments, because the ninth house actually is about deep understanding that often comes with a light bulb, eureka kind of experience. So quite an interesting one for Cancer, rising, sun or moon people. For Leo, rising, sun or moon people, the energy of Jupiter in Pisces making a skip step to the nodes is falling in the 8th house. And this is a house of mysticism and magic, house of other people's resources, hidden money, taxes, big investments, big business, all that kind of thing. Jupiter skip step falling in this realm of the chart is going to reveal blockages that you might have to success and growth and abundance. Maybe there's blockages through the tax man taking all your money. That might be shown. I'm a Leo sun, and I got exactly what happened to me this week. Damn it! The tax man showed up with a letter in my post box, which I wasn't very happy to receive. There's a block to my success and growth and abundance, very much playing out this energy. But it could be other things from the 8th house that are revealed to be blocking your growth to success and abundance. It could be some secret that you're carrying. This is a house of secrets. You might be harboring a secret and it's stopping you from achieving and, doing what you want with your life and having the success that you long for. Could be a divorce. That's an 8th house thing as well. It could be some inability to transform or be flexible or go with the flow, because this is a house of fast and rapid change, and your resistance to change might be causing this block to your own success and growth and abundance, Leo. So it's going to be revealed this week. Jupiter's going to show you where that blockage is coming from, but it's likely to be 8th house connected. It could also be connected to Pisces in general, which is about martyrdom, self-sacrifice. That could be your block. It could be the block for all of us that is revealed. Where are we holding ourselves back because we're always thinking of others and failing to think of ourselves? Very Pisces trait, that one. Not so much a Leo trait, I will point out, though. Here we are looking at Leo as a sign. But Jupiter as a skip step can be giving meaningful success in the house of Pisces, but you may need to go out on a limb, get out of your comfort zone, shake things up a bit to make it happen. And the 8th house is going to help you do that, Leo. So you might develop meaningful success through in your sex life. You might have had tumbleweed city in your sex life for years. Lo and behold, along comes this Jupiter skip step. You clear out all the cobwebs and your sex life becomes very successful for you, prosperous for you, abundant, flourishing for you with this energy. That could be one way that it looks like, but you might need to go out on a limb to make that happen in some way. Don't ask me to explain how that might, what scenario that might look like. But also I want to point out that for Leo people, I'm serious about the sex thing, but it's kind of a fun thing to talk about, isn't it? But also for Leo people, it could be that some sort of meaningful success comes your way, Leo, through other people's money. And by that, I mean an inheritance, a legacy, a will that's left you, a windfall of some sort, which is an 8th house thing. 8th house is windfalls. So Leo people, you could be really surprised with the great benefic in his own sign creating a skip step. Maybe something, and Jupiter is good karma too. Maybe something comes your way of a financial or material manner that is not something that you have generated of your own accord, but comes from outside of you, from other people or other sources, that brings you more material prosperity and abundance and success. So for Leo people, it could be quite an interesting time in the material realm that way, with this skip step forming in the house of what we receive from other people. Now, what we receive from others can be material goods, but it could also be moral support. Like I said, moral support or encouragement or a benefactor that comes and gets behind you to help you succeed in life too. So there's some benefit in maybe many realms that could come your way, but it's coming from others to you as a gift. So very, very powerful. That's what I'm seeing for Leo. The potential here looks quite fun. You could also have meaningful success if you are involved in careers that have to do with anything occult or hidden. You know, it could be psychology, could be sex therapy, it could be astrology, could be as a tarot reader. If you practice any other occult activities or esoteric activities, you could have a lot of success in that regard as well, that comes out of this. But you will need to go out on a limb, as I say. Maybe, you know, if you want to windfall, you might have to go out on a limb and buy that Tats Lotto ticket. Maybe if you want to have some sort of success in an astrological career, you've actually got to go out and launch that website instead of, you know, waiting for the perfect time, which never arrives. Maybe just get out there and do it. Jupiter skip step might be saying go out on a limb, make that happen. All right, Virgo rising, Virgo sun and Virgo moon people. The energy of Jupiter as a skip step in Pisces is falling in your 7th house, the house of everyone opposite you, everybody else out there. It's also the house of the public, everything far away from you, your audience, your clients. So there might be some blockage to success in your life that is revealed through an interaction with another person. Could be an interaction with your spouse or with a client or some sort of audience that you have. Through those people, it might be revealed to you what your blockage to success and growth and abundance is. So pay attention to what other people are sharing and saying to you, Virgo, and you might, you know, discover something very meaningful. I want to also point out that in Pisces, this is the case for everybody, a Jupiter skip step can also be revealing blockages to success and growth and abundance through our martyrdom, through our self-sacrifice, where we are not honoring ourselves, where we're not putting ourselves first, and we're constantly over-giving, a very Pisces trait. So Jupiter can be showing that to you or revealing that to you this week. But Jupiter wants to give meaningful success under this skip step energy to help you move into your destiny. He's going to require you probably to go out on a limb to do so, but meaningful success when it's in the 7th house might look like greater popularity, a bigger audience, more clients. It could also look like developing equal partnerships, equal relationships, not partnerships that are out of balance where you're martyring yourself, you're overgiving, but relationships based on balance and fairness and justice. Now, that could be a type of meaningful success for you, or a successful agreement or a successful contract. You, as I said, though, may need to go out on a limb to make this happen. So, you know, maybe there's something in a contract you're about to sign and you don't like it because it's not fair and just. You need to go out on a limb and say, I want this contract, but I don't want this component of this contract. And you might need to get gutsy, you know, and get courageous and say, it's got to be like this or I'm not signing. That's an example with a contract. Or it might be that you need, if you want to grow your audience, you might need to jump out of your comfort zone and start producing more engagement. It might be social media engagement or going out and meeting with people face to face or something. And you need to go out on a limb out of your comfort zone to generate that greater audience or more clients. Or you might even need to go out on a limb to generate an equal partnership, be it a relationship that you're currently in or a relationship that you want to establish. You might need to go out on a limb and say something, hey, things aren't being treated equally here or fairly, and I think we need to readjust how we're doing things to be more balanced. That might be going out on a limb. but it could bring you more meaningful success in your relationships to do so. So that's just an example of how this skip step energy might be playing out for our Virgo rising sun or moon friends. For Libra rising sun or moon people, well, the energy of this rather wobbly Jupiter skip step is falling in your 6th house. So this is where it's quite powerful, this one, in revealing blockages that you might have Libra, to success and growth and abundance. And these blockages, firstly, they're likely to relate to, as they will be for everyone, to Pisces issues, which is usually overgiving, martyrdom, and not, putting others before the self. And that's just a general Pisces issue that stops us from succeeding in the way that we probably long to. And Jupiter's going to reveal where we're doing that. He's going to do that for everybody. But particularly in the 6th house, then it might be revealed, Libra, that it's maybe through some sort of imbalance in the world. Libra, you like balance. And here we are with this emphasis now showing where things are imbalanced in your life that is blocking your success and growth or abundance. It could be your health that's blocking. It could be your, your poverty. Or I hope no one's in poverty watching this, but it could be lack of funds, debt. It could be, an enemy that's blocking you from success. It could be adversity. It could be, I said health, haven't I? Health and money and, limitations at work. These sorts of things that are the very 6th house. The imbalances of life, the difficulties of life are very 6th house. It's a hard house. I think it's actually, to my mind, the most difficult of all the houses is the 6th house. And so these 6th house things are going to be revealed to you, where these blockages are coming from. You might find out that somebody is sabotaging you at work, an enemy at work holding you back. You might find out that, you weren't chosen for a particular position because you weren't able to contribute a certain amount of money towards, that club or that group or that company that you wanted to be part of. And so your lack of funds held you back. There will be a revelation this week regarding some adversity in your life. So be prepared for that to be revealed, Libra. But the good news is that Jupiter as a skip step in the 6th house can give meaningful success to the 6th house, provided we're willing to go out on a limb. So this is where hard work can pay off now. You work hard, you do the hard yards, boom, you get the success. Jupiter gives it to you. House of hard work can give meaningful success when Jupiter is in a skip step formation here. It's also a house of where we can burn our karma through service and helping and fixing and healing. And in doing those things, where we're helping other people, where we're trying to serve by lifting others up, so to speak, not self-sacrificing for others, but simply lifting others up, helping others to shine, that can actually pay off and fruit with good karma for you now as a reward under this Jupiter energy. Maybe you're working with other people and you give them the credit that they're due, or you give them an opportunity to shine in some manner. And that can result in good karma for you that gives meaningful success. Service is a great way to undo karmic blockages, and this is a very karmic energy that's playing out this week. You could also have some meaningful success with maybe recovery from some sort of health issue. Getting out of debt might be a form of success for you in some way this week. Getting out of a difficult circumstance with an enemy, but you're going to need to go out on a limb to see this happen. Now, maybe that might look like going up to your enemy at work and saying, hey, look, I know that you're talking smack behind my back and I'm aware of it, and I just want you to know that if I hear about it again, I'm going to deal with it in this way or that way or whatever. And that could actually, put cold water on the fire and let it go out. Might require you, like I said, making a confronting kind of, going into a confrontational circumstance, 6th house, but it gives the success you need, which is to quash the behavior of that enemy. You see what I mean? There's a necessity with success here to go out on a limb, Maybe you need to, go out on a limb and approach somebody for some assistance with dealing with that debt you've got. Maybe you need to go out on a limb and visit that acupuncturist to deal with a health issue, and you've never dealt with something a bit alternative like that in your life. And it's a bit scary for you, so you're going to go, try something you've never done before. So they're just some examples. Going out on a limb in order to generate some sort of meaningful success. Where are you being challenged to step out of your comfort zone this week? Well, thank you, Libra, rising sun and moon people. We're now looking at Scorpio, rising sun or moon people. And the energy of the Jupiter skip step is falling in your 5th house, the second luckiest house of the horoscope. And it's through 5th house influences that you might get a revelation about where success is being blocked in your life this week. I will also point out that when Jupiter is a skip step in Pisces, the general blockage and influence can be our martyrdom or our self-sacrificing and putting others before ourselves that can be causing blockages to growth and abundance and prosperity. But in the 5th house, it could be that you might be revealed that children have been holding you back in some way, or maybe a lover and their influence has been holding you back from the success and growth and abundance that you want in your life. Now, it doesn't mean that you've got to kick the kids out the door and tell the lover, see you later. I'm not saying that at all. But it might mean a readjustment of things, If you want to be more successful in whatever manner that looks to you, maybe you need to say to the kids need you to step up and, help around the house more, mow the lawn when I ask you, or do the dishes without being told, I need you to step up. And you might need, you might realize that there's all these blockages that need to be addressed. And that's what Jupiter wants to do. It wants to shine a light and show you where the blockages are. So that could happen. I also know that when Jupiter is a skip step in the 5th house, he gives meaningful success. And of course, success can be very wonderful in the 5th house. Creative success. He can give you, the chance to put your art in that famous exhibition, or get your song played on the radio. Probably that doesn't guarantee success anymore, but it did when I was young. These sorts of creative successes can come your way with Jupiter as a skip step in the 5th house, which is wonderful and exciting if you're a creative person trying to get your creative stuff out there. There's also an energy here of, good karma from past lifetimes. So there's a fruiting and a blossoming, Scorpio, that could be happening in your life as a gift from the good deeds that you have done in past lives. But I do need to point out that you will need to go out on a limb to attain these meaningful successes. You might have to approach that radio station with your CD, if you still have CDs, with your digital download and say, hey, could you play my song? You might need to go out on a limb and, send your manuscript off to a publisher, or, these sorts of things. It requires a bit of gutsiness and a bit of confidence to put yourself out there, and Jupiter's calling you to do that as a part of your destiny. So pay attention. Where can you hear that call to go out on a limb in order to give yourself some meaningful success in the week ahead? So moving along, thank you, Scorpio. And Sagittarius, rising sun or moon people. We have Jupiter as the skip step falling in your 4th house. This is the life foundation. It's the lowest house in the horoscope. It sits at the bottom, so it's the core, the foundation of who we are. The emotional strength or lack of it can be seen through the 4th house energy. But this is also this week with the skip step where we're going to see blockages to our success and growth and abundance be revealed. Now, for all people, Jupiter in Pisces can reveal, as a skip step, can reveal that we have blockages that come from Pisces behaviors, which can be to martyr ourselves, to self-sacrifice, and to put other people before ourselves. Not healthy things. These are shadow Pisces energies that we all want to avoid if at all possible. But we might be shown where we're doing that this week. And look, in the house of family, it could be quite possibly that you are martyring yourself for your family, and in doing so, you're holding back your own personal growth and success and abundance, and keeping, the person that you're destined to be at bay because of this martyrdom for a family. Now, I am not at all in any way encouraging people to neglect their family. That's not what I'm saying. Life is all about balance and harmony, is it not? And give and take. So Jupiter may reveal to you where things are out of whack with that this week. It's maybe your emotional state is causing a blockage to your success and growth now. Jupiter might reveal that to you as well. This is the house of our emotional foundation, as I've said. It's also a house of our genetic ancestry, and maybe, the expectations of parents or family, like not just our descendants, but our ancestry, the expectations and the standards or the beliefs of our ancestors, the living ancestors that we have, can be a blockage to our growth and abundance and success too. Maybe our desire for security and safety can be blocking our success and growth. But Jupiter, the good news is Jupiter here in the fourth house wants to give meaningful success as a skip step in the fourth house. It wants to give you, healthy, happy, balanced family. It wants to give you the house of your dreams. It wants to give you emotional strength and resilience and abundance. It wants to give you a beautiful domestic life. It wants to give you gorgeous garden and, all those fourth house things, great connections with family. Wants to make you a good parent and successful in those realms, but it's asking you, Jupiter as a skip step here, to go out on a limb with those things. If you're martyring yourself for your family and you're losing yourself because of, your desire to have a happy family, then you might need to go out on a limb and say, hey, I'm drowning here and I need things to change. That could be very much getting out of your comfort zone and going out on a limb to bring in some changes and make life more successful, more flourishing, more prosperous for you as a person at your core. So that's the kind of thing Jupiter's calling you to do this week. There might be many opportunities for you to go out on a limb, maybe relating to a house or a property. You might need to go out on a limb if you want success with that property. Maybe you might need to go out on a limb with regard to creating security and stability in your life, or a sense of belonging in a community. Maybe you need to go and participate in the community to get that sense of belonging. That might feel like going out on a limb for a lot of people. So maybe you need to go out on a limb and approach your mother. House of the mother is here, about some issue, some concern, so that you can have a successful relationship with your mother. So you can see that there is this need to step out of what we're used to and out of our ho-hum ordinary state in order to create a more meaningful and successful experience in the fourth house for us this week during this Jupiter skip step. All right. Thank you, Saggy people. Moving on to Capricorn, rising, sun and moon. Man, you've got some action happening in your house, your first house, your rising sign. If you are a Capricorn rising this week, with the sun and the moon will be there, and Venus and Pluto and Mercury, it's all going down in Capricorn. But this week we're looking at the third house, because that's where Jupiter skip step is forming. And it could be, for all people, Jupiter in Pisces is about showing us where we martyr ourselves, where we deny ourselves for other people, where we self-sabotage. We want to stop doing that. We want more balance, more harmony. That's the shadow side of Pisces energy. And Jupiter can be revealing where that is occurring and causing you a block to success and growth and abundance. But also in the third house, Capricorn people, there could be a sibling that is blocking your growth to success and prosperity and flourishing. And Jupiter will reveal that, will show that to you this week. Where is a sibling holding you back? Or where is a relative or a neighbor? Where is some sort of workshop group that you've been a part of holding you back? The third house is people that we don't actually choose willingly to be in our lives, just the people who are in our lives and we can't help it. And it could be somebody who fits that description that is blocking your path to feeling good about life and having the meaningful success you desire. It could also be your thoughts in the third house that are blocking your success, so I would encourage you, do some deep evaluation. What are your thoughts? What's your thought life like? Do you have negative thoughts? Are you always running yourself down? Are you always demeaning yourself? Is that a block to success? Are you always thinking other people are better than you? Maybe that's a blockage to your own growth and success and abundance too, and Jupiter will reveal that to you this week as well. But Jupiter in the third house wants to give meaningful success to the third house. It may require you to go out on a limb to do so. This is the house of small business. It's the house of our craftsmanship, transactions and trade. These things can be very successful for you this week, provided you're willing to take a risk. So it might mean sharing your craftsmanship at the local market, and you're like, I don't know if I should, I've never gone and done a market stall before. Go out on a limb, because it could give you success more than you imagined to do so. Maybe you need to go out on a limb and tell your sibling, hey, pull your head in, because you're really cramping my style here and holding my growth and abundance back, and you need to go out on a limb in order to create growth and abundance by telling that neighbor, that sibling, that relative to hole up. So that could also be one of the hallmarks of this transit, or what Jupiter is calling you to. It could be that you need to go out on a limb and change your mental processes, change your thought patterns. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. We know that. Sometimes, I guess, for some people it can, especially if you've got Uranus moving through the third house or something, it might. But generally, what we see here is that there can be a start. Jupiter can reveal, and then you make meaningful steps and actions towards changing your mental processes. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe you also would like to start your own small business. Jupiter here under a skip-step influence could give you the courage to take that risk, to step out of your comfort zone, start that side business, start that small business, and you may actually attain some level of meaningful success from that initiation that occurs as well. So that's what I'm seeing for Capricorn rising, Sun or Moon people. Now, thank you for waiting until last, my lovely Aquarian friends. The Jupiter skip step for you guys is falling in your second house. Now, for all of us, Jupiter in Pisces as a skip step is going to reveal to us where we're martyring ourselves, where we're self-sacrificing for the sake of another, where we're denying ourselves. And he's going to reveal that, and where it's blocking us and holding us back from success in life, he'll show it to us. Now, that's generally for Pisces, but for you, Aquarius, this revelation of where you're being blocked or held back in some way will have connotations to the second house as well. Maybe it's your values that are holding you back. It's a very personal house, the second house. House of our food, our money, our shelter, our clothing. And potentially your attitude to those things could be holding you back. What do you think about the food you eat, the shelter you have, the clothing? Is it do you think you always have to live in a shotgun shack? Or do you have an attitude or a sense of self-worth that says, I deserve to live in a mansion in Toorak or South Yarra or wherever? Your mental thoughts about what you value are very much influencing your path to success and abundance. And Jupiter might reveal where you're holding yourself back with what you value. Your sense of self-worth can also be an inhibitor of your success and growth and abundance to Aquarius. And Jupiter in the second house of self-worth and self-value might reveal how that is playing out for you. But the good news is that Jupiter under a skip-step influence wants to give meaningful success in the house of Pisces this week. It will require usually that we go out on a limb to make it happen, but you might have meaningful success in obtaining money or finding a new house, or finding that gorgeous sparkly shirt to wear to your New Year's Eve party or something. Like, there is this energy of success that can come through second house things. But you might have to, if you want to find that sparkly top, you might have to trudge around from shop to shop for a whole afternoon, get out of your comfort zone to go find it. If you want to find that new house that's going to give you a sense of meaning and purpose and fulfillment, you might have to go around to a few open houses, get out of your comfort zone, go and start looking. So these kinds of things, meaningful success in the material realm is available to you, Aquarius, with Jupiter as a skip step here. You could find that house, you could find that shirt that you want, you could generate more money, more savings, but it's going to require in some way that you need to get off the couch and take action to make it happen. Take a risk to get it going, So that's what I'm seeing for our Aquarius friends with the energy of Jupiter skip step this week. Well, thank you one and all. I hope 2020 is a huge blessing for everybody and that we leave 2021 and 2020 well behind in the dust this year by generating more success and prosperity and abundance in our lives. I will have another Astro Weather report for you next week. Until then, God bless.